All right, so for our roofing of our house, what I'm gonna do first is the roof that is on our main structure, not our garage. I'm gonna actually do my set of shingles and I'm gonna do my metal roofing on this section of house first. Now, the main things about roofing is that you make sure you follow the structure that it's on. So this roof, how did we get the angles of this roof? We used our vanishing point, right? So for our shingles, guess what we're going to also use? Our vanishing point, for sure. Because if the roof uses the vanishing point, then the shingles also have to use the vanishing point. Now, to make my shingles nice and even, though, because shingles do have a definite size and they are placed evenly, I'm going to just go to the front of my roof right here, and I'm going to make some big old shingles. We don't need little teeny tiny ones. And I'm just going to put some little marks every centimeter, because that actually gives me an even division of this. Now, if you're doing metal roof, you do not have to do this, right? If you're doing a metal roof, you do not have to do this. But if you are doing a shingled roof, you want your lines of your shingles to be nice and even with each other, okay? Now, once I have those little dots, time for us to use perspective. And again, perspective is the world's easiest art technique because it is just connect the dots. Now, if you're doing shingles, and honestly, I prefer the look of shingles. I know that they're not as strong as metal roofs, but I think they look better. And they stay looking better longer, because the metal roofs eventually, the paint gets scratched, it starts to rust, it gets not as pretty, it gets dirty, nobody goes up there and cleans it. But, you know, they're stronger, and we live in a hurricane-prone area, so people make those choices. But with shingles, you have rows of shingles that'll go down your house. Now, I'm going to do the weird thing of stopping halfway. If you are doing a shingle roof, are you going to stop halfway? No, you go all the way to the back of your roof. What about whenever you get to this little garage area? Oh, I went further than what I needed to. Do you go through the little garage roof? But like draw the line through it? No, you stop it on one side and then you pick it up on the other side. But I'm just doing the front half, so I don't have to worry about this. But if you are doing yours, you will go all the way to the garage, stop, and then if you need to, show the little bit on the other end. But all of these are vanishing point lines. All of these are vanishing point lines. Do you think you'll be able to tell if you just start even with the top of this angle and just work your way down parallel? Okay, watch my ruler for a second. See right here, I'm kind of, looks like I'm parallel with the top of the roof, right? If I just keep that the same angle as I go down, look, second line, it's already different. Keep going down, way different. Keep going down, hugely different. Keep going down. It doesn't even finish up on my roof. If you stick with parallel lines, this will not work. It has to be vanishing point lines. So make sure that they rotate with your vanishing point to give you the right kinds of lines. Now, once you have these lines going to the vanishing point, what other kind of lines do we need for our shingled roofs? What kind of lines do you think we're gonna need to finish this off? Is it just gonna stay long rows like this? No, we're gonna see the individual shingles, correct? And at what angle do you think we need to show the shingles? Will they be vertical? Does that look right? No, that absolutely doesn't look right. So what kind of lines do you think we need?
Horizontal.
Horizontal lines? Okay, let's see if that looks right. Does that look right? No, that doesn't look right either. So let's do door number 3. What kind of lines do you think we might need? They're not vertical. They're not horizontal. They don't go to the vanishing point. They're going to angle. And what kind of angle do we think we're going to match? Think about it. It's a flat thing laying on that angle of the roof. What should we be matching?
The angle.
There you go. This angle of the roof. Isn't that beautiful about perspective? You try something, it doesn't work, you see it immediately, and it's easy to fix. One kind doesn't work, try another one. And you could just keep doing that until you get the right one. You could probably figure out perspective yourself with at least a little bit of info, and that's kind of cool. So I'm going to put my ruler on the edge of my roof line itself here, this angle. And what I'll do is push that back and then put myself some little lines on alternating rows. Alternating rows. Then I'll push it back a little bit more and put little lines on the other alternating rows. I'll keep doing that, working my way back until I get a very simplified shingle. Now, is this like the 3-tab or architectural shingles and all that other stuff that show a sense of depth and hip? No, it doesn't have all those things. I'm not even worrying about ridge caps. It's not that important that we put every single detail that shingles have. It's important that you buy all of that whenever you have to reshingle your house, but it's not so important for us to draw it. We just want a basic shingle pattern. And it's kind of like a brick pattern, but on the side of your house. Now, my shingles, again, stop halfway. If you were going to do shingles, you would keep going all the way to the back with that same set of lines. Vanishing point lines here, roof angle lines here for your shorter ones. You see how it gives you the look of shingles? Any questions about that? All good? All right. Now, how do you think metal roofs are going to be different? What would a metal roof look like instead of shingles? What do our metal roofs look like?
Their lines are different.
Yes, they are,
They're
right?
not cubes, they're like rectangles almost.
Pretty much. And do the lines of a metal roof go horizontal or vertical?
Vertical.
They go vertical, right? Because what it does is creates channels on your roof for rain to go down. If you had horizontal metal roofs, the rain would get right inside the cracks and they would serve no purpose whatsoever. So they have to be verticals. Now, for it to be vertical on that roof, we are going to continue following this line of our roof angle. We don't need the vanishing point line so much. So what we'll do is kind of put yourself a couple of lines that are close together for the ridge of your metal, and then leave a bigger space, but still following that angle of the roof. Put yourself another line to show your ridge of your metal, and then leave yourself a bigger space. Now, for those of you who are thinking, oh, metal roofs are going to be easier to draw, kind of not, because if one shingle is not quite even with another shingle, you really can't tell. But if your metal roof, if the spacing is not all lovely, then it does, you kind of can't tell. So you kind of got to play around with these little lines. Now, can you just measure across the top and put like every centimeter? Will that work? No, you can't, because as things get further away from you, they get smaller. So for our metal roof, that's kind of what needs to happen too. As you work your way back, they're going to get a little smaller. Now again, this is a very simplified roof. You'd actually see the little corrugations on the sides. You would see a ridge cap, definitely, because you can't just let metal roof meet at the top with no kind of cap on it, because it will leak. But again, we are just creating a simplified roofing system. Any of y'all worked on roofs this hurricane loveliness? Y'all got up there and reshingled stuff or remetaled things? Fun times? Fun times. My dad slid off of his. They had a new metal roof. He went up there to paint something or fix the vent cap or something. Slid right off, just like a playground. Y'all do me a favor. When y'all start getting old, don't think that you can still do the same things that you can when you're young. It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. Like 70-something-year-old men sliding off a roof. Lord. All right, so I'll finish off with another little metal section, and you can get the idea how that throughout would give you that look of a metal roof. Again, not perfect. You'd have ridge caps, you'd have a separate little thing up there, and if you do want to play around with those extras, yeah, for sure. But this is our minimums. This is our, what grade for average? C. If you want to, now you don't have to add every single thing to get to the B's and A's, but that's one thing that you could add easily. is show the edging of your metal down here. Put yourself your ridge caps on shingles or metal. Those are some easy ways to kind of start boosting you up toward those B's and A's, right? All right. Now, this part of the house looks really weird because I have two different roofs. You should have one. This one's okay. But now we have a second roof to deal with. Kind of like our roof here at South Lafourche. We have 9 different roofs that we have to cover, which is why we don't have roofs. I hope that we have them before next hurricane season, but we shall see. So we're going to set up on this one also either the shingles or the metal on this secondary roof. Now I'm going to set up my shingles first, right? And I'm going to set them up on this part of the building that's actually going touching the other roof because I'm going to alternate. It's going to go shingle, metal, shingle, metal. And then we're going to set up the metal one here on the other side. Now, for my shingles here, my horizontal lines went to the vanishing point, correct? What about here? Are my horizontal lines going to go to the vanishing point? Am I going to draw my shingles going like this? No, that doesn't look right, correct? So what shape, what angle are my horizontal lines going to be on this section of the roof? Remember, our roof itself can give us our hints, right? This one, vanishing point, so the ones inside went vanishing point. This one, what kind of lines are these? Horizontal lines. So guess what? My shingle lines are going to be horizontal as well. My shingle lines are going to be horizontal as well. So I'll just come right here and I'll set up my horizontal lines, but again, only on half of it, which is strange. I'll set up my horizontal lines. That one is not the right size. To give myself my rows of shingles. If you want to measure them out so they're all equidistant, you can. Or if you're actually doing a shingle roof, wherever this would hit, you can draw your next line. Wherever this would hit, you can draw your next line. I don't have that benefit though because I have weird mismatch roofs. Not fun. Now, once you have your horizontal line set up, once you have your rows of your shingles set up, how do you draw the dividers that separate the shingles? Am I going to draw them with this angle going across? Which angle do you think I'm going to use? Yeah, I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use this one right here. So this is the angle that I need to draw my little dividers. So I'll put my ruler on that angle, and then I'll shift my ruler to draw alternating little sections. Push it over a little bit, keep the same angle. Ooh, I went through. And again, put them on alternating little sections. It's very much similar to what you would do for bricks. So if you wanted to brick up your house, you could, and you just keep going back to create those shingles. And if, of course, you're doing a completely shingled roof, you would continue that all the way to the end, right? If you're doing a completely shingled roof, you continue all that to the end. Now, if you're doing a metal roof, just like we did here, that same angle right here, you are going to do that little pattern of one skinny, one wide, one skinny, one wide, and you keep working your way all the way across, trying to get them as equidistant as you can all the way across that section of the roof. See, it's not equidistant. It's easier to tell when there are mess-ups. And I hate that I can see that much of a difference. That's rude. I don't notice people's makeup, but boy, I notice distances. Whatever. Nope, don't like that one either. Now, if you are one of my students who are very, very particular, measuring is the way to go. Actually measure it out. I like being a little trial and error. I'll keep working with it until I like it, which is very much a skill in art. Keep drawing things till you have it the way you want it. If something doesn't work, keep drawing things till you have it the way you want it. And that'll give you that look of the metal roof. Yeah, yeah. Now, the ends, which I can now see a little bit better in here, what you'd have for your ends of your metal roof is that this section would be a little higher, and then your bigger section would be a little bit lower. It kind of makes a pattern like this, right? Because your ridge, and it just kind of does this little number on the side. It's very tiny from where you can see it up here, and I'm gonna do a little erasing so that you can see that. But if you'd like to create your little edging on your metal roof, that's pretty much how you're gonna take care of it. And I'll need to erase. Oh heck, easier to just erase the whole thing and then go back and put it. So up on the ridge, lower on the valley. Up on the ridge, lower on the valley. Up on the ridge, lower on the valley. The valley is what my father slid off of. And that'll give you your metal roofing on that section. Now again, for you, all shingle, all metal, doesn't matter, as long as you pick one or the other. Are there other types of roofs than this? Are there other types of roofs than this? What other kind of roofs are there? Everybody know? You can do wooden shingles, right? You can actually do wooden shingles.